What's up, guys? This is going to be my gameplay and kit reveal video of OT Chewbacca, the first legendary of 2018. It's been almost a year. We're going to go over this guy's kit. It has a bunch of stuff going on. There's two Zetas. There's a new mechanic called Guard. He has synergy with Raid Han Solo. So there's a lot to discuss here. I have a bunch of gameplay of arena battles against all of the meta teams, including some Sith Darth Traya teams. So if you're interested to see what this guy's kit is and some commentary from yours truly, then sit back and relax and let's get started. So first off, let's dive right into this guy's kit. This is OT, the original trilogy Chewbacca. He is going to be classified as the following: a light side, scoundrel, smuggler, rebel, attacker. So we have another rebel scumbag, and he is going to be the first legendary Chewie that's coming to Galaxy of Heroes. This is labeled here as a mighty rebel attacker who guards the weakest ally. So that's the description for Chewie. Let's go over his kit, going with the uniques first. Both of his uniques are Zeta abilities. There's no leadership ability on this Chewbacca. So let's cover first off Loyal Friend. So at the start of the battle, he's going to grant Guard, which we'll cover in just a second. That's a new mechanic, to the weakest ally. That means the ally with the least amount of health and protection, and also Han Solo, the Raid Han Solo, the Rancor reward, OG Han Solo, the Raid Han. Now, until Chewbacca is defeated, of course, so if Chewie dies, the Guard will go away. Now, Chewie assists those allies whenever they use an ability once per turn for the allies that have guards. So you can have up to 2 guarded allies, so he can assist. That's going to do a little bit less damage, 20% less damage, but Chewie is an attacker, so he hits quite hard, so it does add up. Also, Chewbacca is going to deal damage to the enemy, well, basically any enemy actually, and when he does that, he's going to actually heal the guarded allies. So the 2 guarded allies, Han Solo and whoever is your weakest ally, 3% health and 3% protection. Also, now here is the Guard mechanic. Can't be critically hit, so they're crit immune. They can't be dazed or stunned, and they have 20% critical chance. So quite a good mechanic there for Guard. Now his second unique is called Raging Wookiee, and this is going to allow Chewbacca to be immune to ability block and cooldown increase reduction. So this is a sort of a counter in some way to Darth Nihilus and Boba Fett, etc. Anyone that can try to increase cooldowns, like Death Trooper as well, or apply ability block in whatever way, he is immune to it. This Chewbacca is immune to that. So on top of that, whenever Chewie attacks, he's going to have a bonus damage dealing component. 20% of the target's max health is going to be factored into his damage. So for example, if you're attacking a tank or a Darth Nihilus that just got a bunch of max health, synergizing with Darth Sion, he's going to do a lot more damage to enemies like that. And on top of that, when he gets dealt damage, he's going to have stacking 25% offense and crit chance until the end of his next turn. Also, when Chewie or any other guarded ally takes any sort of damage, he's going to reduce the Furious BOWCASTER ability cooldown by 1, and we're going to actually cover the rest of his basic and his 2 specials after taking a look at a battle real fast. So here is a battle of a CLS squad against the Kira Solo Scoundrel squad with a recent addition, Zalbar, who is also a Scoundrel KOTOR character. So this team is very tricky because there's 3 different tanks. There's Vandor Chewie, Zalbar, and L3. Now, we have Chewbacca here, and he's guarding Han Solo, as you can see here in the bottom right corner, and CLS, Commander Luke Skywalker. You can see the guard mechanic with that blue icon status effect on top of their heads. Now that means that he is going to be granting them a bunch of crit chance, immune to daze and stun, and also he's going to be able to synergize, reducing his own abilities whenever they take damage. So guard is quite a nice mechanic. I like it. You can't have more than 2 guarded enemies, but I think if you had all 5 on your team, it would be kind of overpowered. So it's a good number, having 2 guarded enemies. And you can see here that this team is very good. The solo scoundrel team is a very tough team to take out. I don't even think CLS would be able to take out a equally modded solo scoundrel team right now, and we're actually doing this quite easily. This was one of my first battles and it was not difficult whatsoever. CLS and these rebels came out a while ago, and the addition of this new legendary Chewie is bringing some life back into this CLS rebel squad. So very interesting that all it takes is one character to kind of bring their power level kind of back up to speed from where they left off. Now this isn't going to be like the most overpowered team ever. I still think that Darth Traya and the Sith teams are going to be strong, but this team is definitely way stronger with Chewie. When you put CLS and Han Solo and Chewie together, and then you just mix and match for the last 1 or 2 spots, you're going to have a much stronger CLS team than you had before. So I could imagine you could put in Chase, Chirrut, and Baze in place of R2 and Old Ben, and there's probably a bunch of different other options as well. So you can see here that no deaths. Most of our team has full health and protection except for Old Ben because he's been tanking, and so not too shabby. So that was a little battle. So now let's quickly cover the 2 Zetas. Now they were both on the uniques like I stated earlier. This is Loyal Friend. This is the ability that allows Chewie to guard his allies, Han Solo and the weakest ally. Now when you put a Zeta on this ability, he's going to recover health and protection, and also the guarded allies Han Solo and the weakest ally are going to recover that whenever Chewie deals damage to an enemy. So that is going to be 3% for both accounts. Now let's also cover the other Zeta ability, and this is Raging Wookiee, the other unique. Now Chewie is going to be immune to ability block and cooldown increases, so he's going to have a sort of counter component to Death Trooper, Darth Nihilus, anyone that can ability block. And so this is going to make him very useful because he is going to make sure that you're going to make sure that he's using his abilities when you have this ability Zetaed. So very cool. So now we're going to take a look at some more gameplay and then finish covering his kit and also talk about some synergies. So we're going to take a look at the Rebel team once again. Now we're running Han Solo, Chewbacca, the OT Chewbacca, CLS as our leader, and Old Ben and R2. We were running that in a previous video, and we're going to continue to run this team. Now I also talked about replacing R2 and Old Ben if you need them in other spots, like for example if you have your own Bastila team in TW and you're using R2 maybe with your JTR resistance squads. They are not sort of static characters that you need to keep on this team. You can put in Chase, you can put in Stormtrooper Han, for example, and we're going to actually use Stormtrooper Han against a Bastila team right now. So let's take a look at how that works. So here we have a battle with Han ST against a standard Bastila full Jedi team. Now a lot of people don't have Jolie Bindo, so people are using Kenobi as their tank for this team. And the nice thing here, we're running a bunch of characters here that are not as modded as well, and also this is definitely a weaker team. Han ST is not as strong as Kenobi or Old Ben whatsoever. I also mistimed the taunt with Han ST, so he's kind of being carried in this battle. Now, I had other successes with him, so he's not a bad character. If you can time the taunt with Han ST, he's going to give your team a bunch of turn meter, especially if the enemy has a taunting unit that has retribution, and they're going to just keep attacking into Han ST, and he's going to give and feed your team a bunch of turn meter. You can also see R2 didn't have a lot of impact here either. He's not really, you know, required. He wasn't the MVP in this battle. I know he's making the stats of the other rebel characters stronger with his sort of combat analysis, and what's the other one? Number crunch. Number crunch is the Zeta, but that is also really not the thing that's winning the battle. The key units here are the trio of the 2 guarded characters and Chewie. And the nice thing about Chewie is that he can apply some tenacity down on his basic, and we're going to actually cover that in just a second. Let's take a look and review the synergies. Now, we talked about why the characters are good. Now, you can actually use CLS as your leader, and Han Solo, he has that natural synergy. But I want to say this real fast. Old Ben is a great tank because he can double taunt and reduce the turn meter and gain some control of the battle. Once you sort of gain control of the battle, you can start to apply tenacity down and get some of those stuns and other sort of abilities much easier. And so he's going to synergize with a more of a rebel squad. Now, I think you can also run him with just Han Solo as a duo on a hybrid team. I also think that you can probably run this guy on a scoundrel team as well, but he really fits well on a rebel squad. So back to his strengths. Now, we talked a little bit about guard, and he also has a lot of damage output because he's an attacker, and he has a capability of stunning with his second special and also dispelling enemies with his first special. So let's take a look at the rest of his kit here. Now, this is his basic ability, Overcharged Shot. So he's going to deal physical damage, and he's going to inflict the tenacity down debuff for 2 turns. So the nice thing about this debuff is he's going to be applying it everywhere, which is great, and you can actually start landing your debuffs even through tenacity up and sort of other mechanics like Bastille's leadership as well. So that is a nice basic. Now, also his first special is the ability that allows him to dispel. It's called Pulverize. It's on a cooldown of 4, and it dispels all of the buffs on every enemy, deals physical damage as well. So it's an AoE area of effect attack, and he's going to gain Chewie, that is, offense up and crit chance up for 2 turns. Also, this attack ignores defense, so it can do some nice AoE damage here. The really cool component here is that it can dispel buffs. The last special is called Furious BOWCASTER, and this is going to be dealing physical damage as well. It's on a cooldown of 3, but keep in mind that you can reduce the ability cooldown whenever your guarded allies are taking damage, and this is going to be the stun ability, so you can stun an enemy for 1 turn. Now, the cool thing is also you can reset the first special, Pulverize's cooldown, so you can use it right away when you take your next turn if you're using this ability on a target that has no protection. So very interesting, as this ability also can't be evaded. It can be resisted, the stun can be resisted, but this attack cannot be evaded. So we talked a lot about the kit. We looked at some gameplay against the solo scoundrels. We're going to be taking a look at some more gameplay here against the Sith. The Sith, especially the Sith Triumvirate with Darth Traya, are dominating the arena shards right now. Now, there are a lot of different variations, but the strongest teams tend to have either a Palp-led team or a Traya-led team. The Sith Triumvirate are on both squads. This is a Palp-led team, and you can see here on manual, we're not having too much difficulty facing a very difficult Sith team. We're able to take out these characters and not really worry so much here. Now, I believe that, yeah, OT Chewie got isolated, so we're not getting a lot of the damage output potential that we could have from him, but at least that means that our old Ben was able to do a few stuff as well. So it's either going to be old Ben or Chewie that gets isolated. Now keep in mind that you do want to have CLS get the guard ability, so you don't want to give him too much health or protection compared to the rest of your team. If you notice that someone else besides Han Solo and CLS are getting the guard mechanic, then you're not properly modding your CLS, because you definitely want him to get the guard mechanic. Whenever you're using, even like switching the stance on CLS from attack mode to defense mode, if Chewie is not isolated, he will assist. Also, when Han Solo does his second special, which does no damage, Chewie will assist. So you can see here that we're able to take out the Palpatine, and it's not too difficult here. So we're gonna actually, I think this was the easier match for this specific team. So we're gonna face the harder Sith team now, the Darth Traya led Sith Triumvirate team. Now there are multiple ways to take out this Darth Traya team. I think that there are two ways. One, you try to control one of the Sith Triumvirate, mainly Darth Traya, I found, because she is kind of squishy. You can either try to burst her down or you can try to control her. Once you get tenacity down, you can keep reducing her turn meter with CLS, Han Solo, etc. Old Ben can reduce turn meter as well. You kind of have to just plow through that Sith Trooper because he has the taunt and there's a bunch of capability of him acquiring taunt, so you kind of just burst him down and then go for a kill. Now if you can't burst down Darth Traya, or you're finding that it's easier to control her turn meter, then you can try to take out another enemy like Darth Nihilus, Sith Assassin, Thrawn if they're using it. Don't attack Darth Sion, save him for last. I found that to be effective, and so here I'm actually going for the technique of controlling Darth Traya and killing off the Sith Trooper and the Sith Assassin first. We're going to take out Darth Nihilus as well because we're not in danger of Darth Traya taking a turn. And so now Darth Traya finally took a turn and isolated someone after just having 2 enemies on the field left and less than 2 minutes to go, or 2 minutes have passed so far, I should say, excuse me. And now we're going to take out Darth Traya, and then we'll be left with just Darth Sion. So this is going to be another way to take out Darth Traya teams. So if you're having difficulty in arena, or you're facing 25 to 50 different Darth Trayas in territory wars, you can take your CLS squad and be a lot more confident in your capability of taking out even a Traya-led Sith team or a Palp-led Sith team. So very nice. Now, I want to know what your thoughts are so far about Chewbacca. Let me know down in the comments below. Are you digging this Chewie? Do you think that he's strong? Do you think he's not strong enough? Do you think he's overpowered? I want to hear what you guys think so far. I'm going to wrap up this battle here with some auto gameplay. I had some success autoing some of the meta TW teams. For example, I was able to also auto the boss-led bounty hunter teams. I think I was able to auto the Jango Fett-led bounty hunter teams. I'm of course able to auto the crew first order team right here. So even some of the TW teams I'm able to auto. I don't think I tested the solo scoundrels, but I think if they're not running a triple tank, you should probably also be able to auto that team as well. So definitely an interesting character, this legendary. Chewie has a lot of strengths. Maybe he'll even become a pilot, so there's future potential there. So basically, I think that he's a pretty good character. I think he's a welcome addition to any Rebel squad. I think he's going to have a lot of flexibility, and I think that, if we do get a new sort of game mode or territory battle or something like that, he'll probably play a role in that as well. So definitely want to try to acquire this guy with your bounty hunters. At least try to unlock him at 5 stars. You only need 5-star bounty hunters to unlock them. So what do you guys think? Make sure you let me know down in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure to smash a like. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. I make videos all the time, and I'll see you guys all next time. Cheers, guys.
The Force will be with you.